Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. 1923 Season 2 sets up Elizabeth Dutton's Yellowstone exit, and I don't blame her. 1923 Season 2, Episode 2, just set up Elizabeth Strafford's, Michelle Randolph, exit from the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, and I don't blame her for wanting to leave. In 1923 Season 2's second episode, Elizabeth continues suffering through a brutal Montana winter. As her sweetie, Jack Dutton, Darren Mann, and Jacob Dutton, Harrison Ford, journey into Bozeman for Zane Davis's Brian Girardi trial, Elizabeth is one of 1923 Season 2's characters left at home alone on the ranch with Cara Dutton and Helen Mirren. Winter has caused Liz many tribulations thus far. In 1923 Season 2, Episode 1, Elizabeth was on the verge of getting attacked by a mountain lion just before Cara shoots it through the lodge's window. Jack's sweetheart looks death in the face again in 1923 Season 2, Episode 2, when a potentially rabid wolf confronts her in the chicken coop after devouring the Dutton family's entire flock of hens. To worsen things, as Jack fights to make his way home in the blizzard, Elizabeth is forced to receive multiple rabies shots in her stomach. The event adds severe pressure to Elizabeth's hardships, setting up her exit from the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. Ultimately, if Elizabeth Strafford did leave the Yellowstone Ranch, it would be impossible to blame her after 1923 Season 2, Episode 2, The Rapist is Winter. Elizabeth's first winter at the Dutton Ranch is unforgiving, paired with the struggles of the Great Depression in Montana that have affected the plans she made for her life. In 1923 Season 1, Elizabeth has to postpone her wedding to Jack after the cowboys have to change their plans and travel up the mountain to feed the herd, which ends in the beginning of a range war with Banner Creighton, Jerome Flynn. When Banner plans an organized attack on the family after their encounter in the mountains, Elizabeth takes a bullet to the stomach that potentially causes her to lose her child and the ability to have children. As ranch life strips Elizabeth's most basic desires and replaces them with traumas, it's crucial to remember that Liz's discomfort at the Yellowstone Ranch has been a theme since 1923 Season 1. She may love Jack, but the ranching lifestyle has pushed her limits. In 1923 Season 2, Episode 2, Strafford remarks that ranch life is not a means of living but surviving. Elizabeth's struggle resembles Monica's, Kelsey Asbill, conflict in the flagship Yellowstone series. Throughout Monica's time as Casey's, Luke Grimes' wife after Lee Dutton's, Dave Annable, death in Yellowstone, Monica resented the need to return to the ranch and contribute to its operations, which brought hardships to her family. While the ranch indeed served Monica at times, she ultimately never wanted to be a part of it and was glad to leave it behind in the end, despite staying behind on a piece of it. Still, East Camp was appropriately positioned between the ranch and the Broken Rock Reservation. The difference between Monica and Elizabeth is that the latter might leave, and she would be right to do so. Ultimately, Monica knows that ranch life isn't worth sacrificing her family for, and Elizabeth shares her gut instinct. Elizabeth doesn't want to get rabies shots in her stomach, which is understandable considering her previous wound, which likely compromised her ability to have a family by traditional means. That said, if Elizabeth sticks around, her role in the Dutton family tree could have an equally profound conclusion as Case's freedom in Yellowstone, the story of which necessitated Monica's conflict. When we first met Elizabeth Liz Strafford in *1923 she was full of hope, love, and a fiery determination to build a life alongside Jack Dutton. But as Season 1 unfolded, it became increasingly clear that the Yellowstone Ranch is a cruel mistress, demanding sacrifice, suffering, and an almost unnatural resilience. Now, with *1923 Season 2 set to continue the tragic saga of the Duttons, Elizabeth's exit from the ranch seems all but inevitable, and honestly, I don't blame her one bit. ### A life shattered by tragedy. Elizabeth entered the Dutton family through love, but she quickly learned that love alone isn't enough to withstand the horrors of the Yellowstone. The attacks by Banner Creighton and his men left scars that could never fully heal. She endured gunfire, loss, and fear beyond imagination. Yet her resolve remained steadfast, at least for a while. But the miscarriage she suffered at the end of season 1 may have been the breaking point. That devastating loss not only took away the future she and Jack had envisioned, but also made her question whether the Yellowstone was truly a place where she could thrive. This moment is pivotal because it echoes a theme that runs deep in Yellowstone. Women who are attached to the Dutton men often face unbearable tragedies. From Evelyn Dutton's tragic death in a riding accident to Monica's repeated near losses in Yellowstone, the pattern is clear. The land is relentless, and it takes far more than it gives. Elizabeth, a woman who once dreamed a loving, fulfilling life with Jack, now has to weigh whether staying at the ranch is worth the cost. ###The Dutton women's legacy of suffering. If we look at the broader Yellowstone universe, it's no surprise that many women tied to the Dutton lineage either meet tragic ends or choose to walk away. Elsa Dutton's fate in *1883* was perhaps the most heartbreaking, an adventurous, strong-willed young woman cut down in her prime. In the modern era, Beth Dutton has endured horrific violence and personal loss, yet she remains out of sheer defiance. But is that the only path? Must every woman attached to a Dutton man be forced to suffer for the sake of the ranch? Elizabeth's departure would symbolize a rare moment of defiance against this cycle. Unlike Elsa, who died for the land, or Beth, who chooses to stay despite everything, Elizabeth has an opportunity to choose herself over the Yellowstone. And it would make sense, especially considering what we know about the future of the Dutton family. ###The future of the Dutton line. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding *1923* has been how the Dutton lineage will continue, especially given that Spencer Dutton's path remains uncertain. Since *Yellowstone* confirmed that John Dutton Iwi, Kevin Costner's character, descends from Jack's line, it's clear that Jack must eventually have a child. But with Elizabeth's miscarriage in season 1 and her emotional devastation, it's difficult to see how she would be willing, or able, to try again. Could this be the breaking point for her and Jack? If Elizabeth leaves the Yellowstone, it could mean that Jack remarries, leading to the birth of the next generation of Duttons. Or perhaps, against all odds, Elizabeth stays and they do have another child. But if she leaves, her exit would be a monumental moment, a rare example of a woman choosing to break free from the relentless grip of the Dutton legacy. ###The psychological toll of the Yellowstone. Beyond the physical dangers, the Yellowstone also takes a deep psychological toll on those who try to call it home. The weight of responsibility, the unyielding violence, and the constant threats from outside forces make it a battleground rather than a place of peace. Elizabeth, unlike the hardened Duttons, didn't grow up in this world. She came into it through love, not obligation, and that means she still has a chance to escape before it consumes her entirely. Many characters in *Yellowstone* have tried to escape the pull of the ranch, but few have succeeded. Case Dutton left for a time, only to be pulled back in. Monica has tried to find a life beyond the ranch, but has been repeatedly drawn into its chaos. Elizabeth, however, has a unique opportunity. She's still on the cusp of becoming fully entrenched in this world, which means she might have the chance to walk away before it's too late. ###A heartbreaking but necessary goodbye. If *1923* season 2 does indeed set up Elizabeth's departure, it will be a bittersweet but necessary step in her journey. It will also serve as a stark reminder that not everyone is built to withstand the hardships of the Dutton life, and that's okay. Elizabeth isn't weak for wanting something different. She's human.